Hi guys, how are you this week? I am so excited about today's topic, and I first want to tell you I have a slight location change, and also I have to wear my little fancy earbuds here because we're having some work done on the house today, and can't be in my normal space because the guys that are helping us are a little louder, and I was afraid they would interfere with the audio quality and overall sound of the video, so I had to switch down to my living room. So you get to enjoy a different background this week, and it's actually brighter down here, so maybe I shall switch here. I don't know. Let me know if you think or what you think about that. If you are new to the live stream in today's group, do me a solid and just type in new. I would love to greet you by name and make sure you're fully welcomed and understand what is going on here. So, and what is going on here is I am Christina Heideck. I am your host here, your fearless leader in the PTA PTO Superstar Leaders Group. And today we're going to be talking about like family events that not only parents will just like come to, but they'll actually like freaking lose their mind about. It is possible. I know so many schools struggle with engagement and involvement, and one of the keys to getting families involved, or getting parents rather involved, is to really have them have these events that they come to and they love, and they're like, wait, so this is what the PTO does? They don't do bake sales, and they're not just doing more fun, endless fundraisers. Like, they put on awesome magic shows or awesome, fill in the blank. Like, that is what it takes to get families and parents to understand what you're doing and why they should be involved. Because if you have like a really fabulous event where you have parents that really haven't been involved before, but maybe they were like leaning either way and just needed like a good reason, like if they come to an event and they really enjoy it, and then your group is like, hey, if you want this event to continue, like, we need help, we need you to get involved, they're going to be more likely to jump in and help and take part. So it really behooves you to come up with these like awesome family events, because it'll just increase involvement all the way around. And when it comes to next March or next April, whenever your group is doing your officer slating, it won't be a bunch of people like either not coming to the meeting because they don't want to get volunteered for something, or they don't want to feel pressured to take on a leadership role, so they're not even showing up. Or you have people who are like actively avoiding eye contact, and it's awkward. So you don't want that. You want parents to be like, why, yes, I would love to be, the family events chair. I want to be the fundraising chair, or even president of the group. Like, having multiple candidates for these positions is like a dream of every PTA and PTO. So I'm going to help you get there. And, it's kind of funny because I know most people would be like, what? That's not really connected. But it is, my friend. It totally is. All of this stuff is connected. And once you start having a systematic approach to these things and really start treating it like it matters, then it will. And parents will get it. They will see. Now, mind you, you're not going to get everybody, because there's always the negative Nancy's out there. But you are totally going to be attracting high quality parents to be involved in your group. So how are we going to get there? So before you even like decide on the like when you're going to have it, well, I guess that's part of it. So part of like really fantastic events is not the event itself, but it's communicating about the event. So making sure that parents know when the event is, because it could be like a stinking freaking awesome event, but if nobody knows about it, then they're not going to come and they won't get to experience how awesome it is. One year we had a really awesome science night, and what made it so special was not just the like cool experiments that the kids could do in each, like not all of the classrooms, but we had different stations throughout the school, and it was really fun. But we had one of our parents was a science professor at a local university, and I think he was a chemistry professor. And so he came and put on this like wonderful chemistry demonstration type show, but he made it kind of like a mad scientist thing where he would pour two clear substances together and it would turn pink, and then all of a sudden it would turn blue and turn green. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. How is he doing this? But like, if people hadn't known about that, they totally would have missed it. And that event actually is one of the events that parents were raving about, because they were like, this is awesome. Like, we need to have this next year, because it just really brought science to life for the kids. So one, you got to make sure you tell them about it. And I've talked about, I think in the last couple of weeks, like different ways to talk about, to get the word out. And if you're still struggling with this issue, then I have a toolkit that you should totally download. It's a free resource, and you can get it at bit.ly/PTO tools. So it's bit.ly/PTO tools. Again, a free resource, has, I think, 9 different ways to get the word out and communicate with parents that you probably aren't using. Like, there are quite a few that are like totally out of the box, and I didn't even think to use them until a couple of years ago. And then I was like, why didn't I think of this sooner? Like, this is awesome. And it really, one in particular helped me as an event coordinator know how many people were coming, because it wasn't always right, but it was close enough and gave me more of an accurate measure than just basing it off of numbers from last year, which I know a lot of groups try and do that. They see, well, how many people came to Carnival last year? 300? Okay, well, this year we have more kids, so maybe we'll be at 325. Like, that's kind of just a total guess, and there could be factors outside of your control that really drive attendance or hinder attendance, right? So that one tool is really awesome. So that's in the free resource, which you can grab at bit.ly/ or backslash, I always forget, slash, whatever, the one that goes this way, I guess. I have to do it backwards for you. PTO tools. So make sure you grab that if you haven't. It's really awesome. Okay, so I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because they are mixing mortar or something. It's very loud. I hope you can't hear that. I hope it's okay. We're just going to soldier on through this, because that's what PTO moms do. We make it work, right? Can I get a amen for that? All right. So some of the events that families will lose their mind over are actually like pretty simple. Like, it's not rocket science. They don't have to be very expensive at all. Like, that's not what makes an event really awesome. The deciding factors, like some of the best events that I've planned and that I've been to, are things that I would enjoy to do with my children, but I wouldn't actually do them. Like the science night. Like, my kids lost their mind over the spaghetti challenge. Has anybody ever done that? If you have, then say, oh yeah, me, I love that spaghetti challenge. And if you haven't, it's where you take a box of spaghetti and a bag of marshmallows, and you tell the groups, and you have them work together in groups, either in families or, groups of kids, have them build the tallest structure they can without it falling over. That's such a unique challenge, and it's totally low cost, because how much are marshmallows and spaghetti? And if you don't want to pay for that as a PTO, as my group didn't, because we didn't want to be stuck with a whole bunch of leftovers in case people didn't come, we had families just bring their own. And pretty much everybody brought their own. They all remembered, because they knew they were coming to the event. And so they brought along marshmallows and spaghetti, and it was so much fun. And the kids got so into it. So a slight variation on the spaghetti challenge is that you can also, in addition to doing the tallest one, you could do the strongest one. And so how you measure that, this was so much fun. And so simple. And I think even older kids might get a kick out of it too. You take a piece of chipboard or something, or like a cereal box, and you flatten it out and you put it on top of the spaghetti structure, and then you put Matchbox cars on top, because they're like little and they'll increase the weight incrementally, but they're not too much, and it's something the kids enjoy. So that was really fun to see how many Matchbox cars the structures could support before collapsing. So just an aside there. Super fun event. My kids still ask if we can do that, and they're years older now, so it's really fun. So the other event that went over really well for me personally, and for other families that they have been asking for it again, is like just stuff that they would, like I said, that they would be doing anyway, but maybe they just don't want to deal with like the mess of it. For example, cookie decorating. Like, I like to bake cookies and I like to decorate them, but usually not with my kids because they make a mess. So if I had the opportunity, which I did a couple of years ago, to decorate cookies at school one night, I totally took my kids and we did it there. And it was like so awesome. The kids really enjoyed it. Oh, and Ashley had a question about the one event in itself. It could be. We did the spaghetti challenge in conjunction with science night. So I think it was in the year that we didn't, can't remember if we did have the Mad Scientist show or not. We had other experiments to go along with it. So other stations, but that's just an easy one to throw in there. That doesn't cost very much. And then Laura asked, have I ever done the technology take apart day? No, that's an awesome night or awesome idea, because like, especially my little nerd, and I say that like totally, you know, lovingly, like he's a little nerd, he admits it and he gets his nerd on. He would be fascinated by that. And I think that's great. And there are even some organizations out there that will take disassembled toys and they'll break them up and make them into new toys. So maybe like you could partner with a community organization that's doing something similar. And so it'd be like a twofer, right? So you would get the kids to be able to take things apart and investigate them. And then you'd also give them to an organization that could use them. So totally take full advantage of what you have in the community. Every community has different resources available. So you're gonna have to be a little creative sometimes. And sometimes that's really what kind of can make it for a group, is when you're using something a little outside of the box. But it really does it for families, in that, and by doing it for families, I mean, like that really gets them going and is very engaging for them and they attractive and they want to participate. So, so the other thing that I think is really nice is just to do things that require a little bit of extra work and that don't happen regularly, because you don't want to do just simple events that people can do anytime. But you want to do things that they wouldn't do it for whatever reason. So for example, a really good example that I have that affects me personally is that my kids are in the essentially the middle school and the elementary buildings of our district. And I thought for next year, it'd be really awesome for our PTAs to have like a PTA night out at the high school football game. Okay, this is not genius, right? It's not like totally innovative, but I'm not going to be going to the game just on my own. Like I'm not going to go with my family. We're just not going to go. But if there's other PTA families there, heck yeah, man, I'll go, because then I'll have somebody to talk to and my kids will probably have somebody to talk to and it'll be fun. So like take advantage of things that other schools in your district or other community groups in the area have planned and just like piggyback on them. Like you don't have to be putting on a ginormous carnival all the time. And Laura said she has two nerds. Yes, nerds are the best because they don't get in that much trouble. That's what, at least at this point, that's what I'm finding out. Just enough trouble just to keep me on my toes. But that's a story for another day, my friends. So look for things like I said, what parents might not already be doing already. And those kind of include things that are messy or are a hassle. Again, like the science experiments we did, like little miniature volcanoes. I would totally not be down with my children grabbing baking soda and vinegar and just doing this in my kitchen, because I don't have time for that. But if we're going to do it in a group at school, I'd be so supportive of that. And that was a very real example of what we did. You also want to be looking at opportunities to provide a unique experience. So one of my best attended events when I was family events chair was just a blacktop bash. So we did a picnic literally on the playground after school dinner time. That was like the first Friday of the new school year. And what made it so special was that I had called the city and arranged for a fire truck and a police car to come. And we had blocked off one of the parking lots so the kids could climb all over and in the trucks. The officers and the firemen that came were so awesome. They let the kids like turn the siren on and mess with the lights, and they let them get locked in the back of the police car and like put their hands up on the bars and, you know, act like they were being arrested. It was really awesome. That's not something that your normal parents can just like arrange. But and I might add, it was totally free to us. And the first year we did it, there was actually a fire in a neighboring community, so the fire truck couldn't come, but the police car did come, and he hung out for way longer than he said he would. So it was really nice. They really see it as part of their community outreach, so they're more than happy to come for free. We've also involved the police officers or the local police department in a trunk or treat. It was a twofer. It was really to add like security or the guise of security to kind of make our principal happy, because it was the first year that we were doing this event. I was in charge of it because I'm always game for like coming up with something new and different, because I want to get parents involved, and I know that new and different, you know, is the way to go. And she was really concerned about security, and so I said, well, what if I asked the policeman to come? And she's like, that would totally be great. So the police not only sent a car, they sent an officer with candy. And so the kids could trick or treat at the police car. And it was just so awesome because the police department totally enjoyed that opportunity to do that community outreach. And so that the kids were seeing a police officer in a positive light. So it's so important for everything we have going on right now with such negativity with certain police departments and certain police officers. So take advantage. They'll probably be more willing now than ever to go their way for you. Another great idea for something that I have not done yet, but it's on the horizon for maybe next year. Do you have one of those fancy dancy new trampoline parks that have just opened, like the Sky Zones or Get Air kind of places? Why not arranging for to rent it out one night on maybe a Sunday night when they're not otherwise booked, or some other time? I bet a lot of parents would go to that, because usually that's a more expensive event. So, or an expensive activity for people to do with their kids. I know ours is pretty, it's kind of up there on cost. I mean, it's not quite as expensive as skiing, but it's certainly not, you know, like going to the movies, I guess. But, see if you can rent that out. And if you can't afford to rent out the facility, see if you can negotiate, you know, like a reduced cost. And so that you're covering, you know, 50% of the ticket costs. And so families will of course come, because they're going to want to take advantage of that discount that they wouldn't otherwise get. Plus all the kids' friends are going to be there. So look for those opportunities. And that is a great event that would be good for kids, you know, younger, and even to high school, maybe. I don't have a high schooler yet, thank goodness. So I don't know, maybe that's pushing it, but middle school, he would totally, that age set would totally go for that. Let me see what else I had. I wrote some notes. Another event that works really well is bingo. And we're not talking about like gambling for money, just like free cards and they get, you know, junk from the dollar store or whatever. That one always works really well for me, and usually is pretty low cost too. But what all of these events have in common is that they bring people together. And when you bring the parents and families together, they're going to make connections. And the connections is really, that's what's going to bring families coming back to the PTA and PTO to participate. Because if they don't know anybody, that's just like one more obstacle for them to get involved. So you just want to be mindful of that, and just always trying to create that environment where families want to come together. And I had one more note about like the very best events. The very, very, very best events are the ones that where the kids have fun, but also the parents have fun too. That is really like what you should be aiming for every single time. So an example of an event, I can't talk now. An example of an event where kids would have a good time, but most parents wouldn't be having a good time, is maybe an event at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I hate that place. I've only ever had to been there. I've only had to go one time, and it was such the experience. I went for a friend's son's birthday party, and it was such an experience that I told my friend that I would pay her children to never have their party there again. Like, I just really can't take it. So like, stay away from the Chuck E. Cheese type events that are loud and just where there's no opportunity to connect and talk, because at least at our Chuck E. Cheese here, it's really loud and you can't talk to other parents. So like, you have to sit there and just like smile and nod and go, what'd you say? What'd you say? And it's just like, that's what you want to avoid. So just keep those things in mind, please. And that's how you'll have success with these family events that people will like lose their mind over. Oh, I did have a couple more here. I wanted to go back to them. So another super simple event that I planned, and I did it 4 times, or actually 2 times, because one, the kids kind of did it on their own. I did a mother-son dance and then a daddy-daughter dance. But instead of having like a DJ, we just dropped the big screen that was in our gym, and we borrowed the school's sound system and their video projector, and we streamed YouTube Just Dance videos. How simple is that? The kids loved it, and the parents actually participated. The moms more than the dads, because again, the moms were dancing with their moms and the dads were kind of being lame along the sidelines. But you know, that's how dads can be at some sort of events like that, because they don't know anybody, right? The moms were all dancing because they knew each other, or at least they had their little groups of women. So that's another really zero cost one, because you probably, or zero cost event, probably already have the equipment for that, or you can borrow it from the school. So just throw that one out there. Families absolutely raved about that one for a long time. So I hope this has been super helpful, and that you know what kind of events to be looking for. So if you need help with the telling parents about it and how to tell them and when to tell them and what to say to tell them to come to events, then you should definitely check out my parent engagement kit that I have available in my shop. And you can check that out at bit.ly/ultimate engagement. That'll take you to the page where you can look at all of the features. I just want to mention it here just in case you need some extra help. Of course, you know, you get tons of free help from me. You don't have to buy anything, but for groups and for leaders that need that extra bit of help, I just wanted to make sure that they knew about that resource. All right. So next week, I think I'm going to have an exciting announcement about something. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and just commit to it right now. I have something fun up my sleeve, and I'm really excited about it, and I know you guys are going to be excited about it too. So I'm excited to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you until next Wednesday. So you'll have to join me next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and we're going to be talking about more parent engagement goodness, but we're also going to be talking about that surprise announcement that is going to knock your socks off. So look forward to that. And I will hang out in the group as always right after the video ends. And then I will answer any questions you might have. So I want to continue the conversation to make sure that, you know, you're clear, you have a game plan, you know where you're going. So, all right, ladies, I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.